Hi, greetings. It's me, Dr. Paul Gerhardt, and today I want to talk about emotional intelligence and how it can create your pathway to success. Now, in the workplace, today's organizations are getting more and more competitive because we're in a global marketplace. And that means that employers have the pick of who they want to choose because they can broadcast their job openings all around the world. And if they're really smart, they can choose the top candidates who are smart enough to apply for jobs that are a good fit to them. And if you want to be one of these people who find a great job that you really like, that it has a job in an organization that has an alignment of values similar to yours, then the best way to do that and to keep that job is to, one, of course, find a job. Find organizations that are hiring that you think are desirable. Find out where they post their jobs. The really good organizations are finding ways to broadcast their jobs where in things like Monster.com, for instance, or LinkedIn, in order to find and attract talent that they're looking for. And if you're one of those people that is constantly looking in online sources for connections to your future job, then you want to be able to secure that job. And one, of course, you're going to package your best resume together that shows that you're a good fit for the job because you've got relative experience and education that the organization is looking for. Then the thing that's going to help you cinch the job is something called emotional intelligence. And emotional intelligence is exactly what it sounds like. It's about a measured level of intelligence as it relates to understanding your emotions. So the interesting thing about emotions is we get to choose how we react to things. And our emotions are indicators of our values very often and beliefs. And when we are aware of our emotions and then we manage them properly and manage the emotions of other people properly, then that's when you're going to be able to create win-win situations, whatever it is. And so I suggest if you're in like a job interview situation, you think about how to create win-win situations that help the people that you're interacting with or evaluating you see you as a leader and see you as being a top candidate if this is where you are. And then in the workplace, once you earn that job, then you got to maintain the relationships and the network of people that can help you accomplish whatever your organizational goals are and tasks in your daily job. And you do that by, not just applying the golden rule. I mean, let's face it, that golden rule thing is a little overrated because we're not all the same. We all have different things, different values and things, ways that we want to be treated, so it really doesn't make sense to treat other people the way that we want to be treated. We need to figure out how to treat them best. And that means really getting to know people and listening to people and then understanding people. And that understanding is a very powerful tool that you need to consider. And being emotionally intelligent about your emotions, how you feel about things, and the emotions of other people, and being able to manage those in a way where it helps create positive situations. Let's face it, anything can make you angry. And to different varying degrees, other people are going to be angry about different things, and some people just have a way of blowing things off and being respectful about it too. It's an interesting phenomenon how people practice emotional intelligence. But what we do know from studying human behaviors for about 100 years or so is that the best leaders, the most effective leaders, are the ones who earn loyal followers. And they do that through creating win-win situations, which is about mutual understanding, and giving the right kind of support to the people that they're working with. And I think that's all about really being emotionally intelligent. You know, knowing that if you ever act in anger, that's not going to bring out anything positive. You know, if you add anything negative to an already negative situation, it's going to be more negative. You know, controlling your emotions is really important. When you feel like you're getting angry, recognize that that's the emotion. Recognize also that there's going to be no value in acting in anger. So what do? You have to take a step back and say, you know what? I'm feeling angry. I can see that you're feeling angry too if this is a tense situation. How about we take a 20-minute break, and then I'll come back and I'm going to let you talk, and I really want to show you that I'm listening and understanding you. And I won't even say anything or convey my point of view until I've shown you that I really understand. And I think that takes a very mature person to be able to step aside and recognize that they're angry, and then help facilitate a win-win situation by stepping aside and then being your word and coming back and saying, hey, listen, let's step aside, we're going to cool down. Because here's the deal about anger. Anger starts deep inside of your brain, and fight or flight endorphins are rushing through your body, and so you feel anger. And that feeling of anger is almost temporary insanity, where you're not going to say anything rational, no matter how smart you think you are. And I know you're smart, but you need to act in an intelligent way. And so stepping back and saying, listen, we're going to finish this conversation, but I want to make sure that I'm giving my best, and I know you want to give your best too. I don't want to fight with you. I do recognize you're angry because you feel very strongly about this, and you may see things that I don't understand, and I want to understand those. So pulling yourself out of the situation, letting the endorphins cool out of your body, and so that takes about 20 or 30 minutes. And then when you're feeling back to normal, you're no longer insane. You can go and have the conversation with whoever you have in a mature way. You know, you have to bring maturity into every conversation, especially at work, but this works at home too. Bring maturity into the conversation by stepping aside and managing emotions in an appropriate way, and coming back and saying, hey, listen, I'm feeling better about this. Now I really want to listen to understand. And I know you're angry, and I don't want you to be angry. We simply see things differently, and I really want to understand things from your perspective, and I want to show you that I understand things from your perspective. So go ahead. And then after they speak, and you're using your emotional intelligence to really thoughtfully consider, and be prepared to be wrong, because you could be wrong. But don't admit you're wrong unless you really are wrong, because you may be correct, but you really have to understand things from their perspective. Once you are sure that you understand things from their perspective, say, listen, let me see if I've got this right. You think this because of this. Did I get that right? And then you also mentioned these things here. Am I right? It sounds like I owe you an apology. Hey, listen, I'm really sorry. I screwed up. I messed up. Or, okay, do you think I understood that right? Mind just considering my perspective too? Because it's close, or I can see why you feel like it is. But let's see if we can navigate this together, because I don't want you to be angry at me, but I do want to do the right thing, and that right thing may be something totally different than what I'm coming up with, but together I think we can come up with a solution that is mutual for you and I. See, that mutual thing is win-win, and it doesn't have to be a loss on anybody else's side. You know, Dr. Covey, Stephen Covey, talks about finding that third alternative, and I think there's a lot of wisdom in finding that third alternative. So, that's a little bit about creating win-win situations through emotional intelligence. Here are the 5 components of emotional intelligence. One is self-awareness. You know, that's all about really understanding your strengths, your weaknesses, and your triggers. You know, and being honest about it. And I'm famous for saying, you know what, I made a mistake, or I'm really not good at that, but I can learn that. And I want to learn it. I mean, we're the only one that can do this self-mastery thing. You know, nobody can tell us what to do. We need to choose it, and then we need to be receptive to indicators that are coming to us all the time. Two, then there's that self-regulation. You have to be trustworthy. You need to be responsible, and you also need to be adaptable. And so you get trust by giving trust, and then you don't violate the trust when you get it back. And being responsible, being your word, doing what you say you're going to do, and then being flexible. Things don't always have to be your way. Sometimes, even if you're the boss, sometimes being open, or all the time being open and being flexible to learning how to do things way better at what you do, but it also helps build relationships. So regulate yourself. You're the only one that gets to control your actions. You are the only one. He doesn't make you angry. You choose to be angry when he does something. And then motivation is the third component of emotional intelligence. This is about being charismatic, being optimistic, taking the initiative, doing what you say you're going to be doing, and committing to it. And then social competence, building relationships with others. Really understanding how to listen to people, interact with other people, make people feel genuinely valued, not faking people out, being authentic, and allowing people to be authentic too. Number 4, empathy. One of the most powerful things that we do as humans is we can be empathetic. That means really understanding the feelings of other people, understanding them. You don't have to agree with them, but you do need to be understanding of people. That's being respectful. And we're all brothers and sisters on the face of this earth. Whatever your position is, it doesn't mean that you're better than another person, or that you don't have to show respect to another person. Everybody deserves to respect. Just being kind and understanding and empathetic, understanding from your heart, can go a long ways. And finally, social skills. And this is about really managing the way that you are. Manage conflict in the way that I just described. Be cooperative. Be a leader. Involve people. Make people feel welcome, and engage with people in a positive way that uplifts people. And all of these things, no matter where you're working or what your job is, you're a team member. And really learning to understand people and be able to gain the best of what people have to offer, and then being aware of when people aren't offering something. Those are indicators too that you can be proactive at helping build meaningful relationships with and getting the best of other people. And so learning what the talents of people are and utilizing them in a way that makes the team stronger is like a strong rope. One strand isn't as strong as a bunch of strands in a rope that are working together, because there's mutual trust that's been earned, involved, and people are using each other's talents and holding each other accountable and helping each other when they have time, but they're very clear on what their vision is and what the final product looks like. And so there'll always be forming, storming, norming, and then adjourning stages in every team. And you have to be aware of those, and then just learn how to navigate those with excellent emotional intelligence. I'm Dr. Paul Gerhardt. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.